Are people still playing Genshin Impact? Now that's a great question. With the game almost being 2.5 years old, it's still relatively young, but it is not a new game anymore per se. And people maybe start moving on to another game, or maybe they still stay. This is what we'll check out, because Genshin Impact has gone through its rough patches and its great patches. Now, what consists of playing? Is it just logging in, doing daily, spending resin, all of that for like 20 minutes, maybe doing an event or two, and then call it a day? Maybe do the art conquest every once in a while whenever they pop up? Or is it actually exploring, abyssing, doing whatever in Genshin, out of teeing? For the purpose of this video, we're just going to say, as long as you log into Genshin Impact and you log into the game, that's considered playing, because technically you are playing, it's just that I guess you're not playing, but it's still playing, if you get what I mean. So over here, we're at a website called Active Player, and it's one that shows Genshin Impact's live player count and statistics. Now, unfortunately, the live player count does not work. I clicked refresh 10,000 times, and well, 10,000 times it didn't work. But it does have a chart and table, so we're gonna look at that. Trust this information? Yes. Do I have any evidence to back up that it's trustworthy? No. I just trust it with my life, and I'm gonna roll with that. Looking at the table of Genshin Impact live monthly player detailed, we can see that at launch, Genshin had around 16.5 million people of average monthly players, which is pretty insane for launch. And then as we go on, we can see that steady growth. November was kind of a rough patch. I think that's when Child came out, which was kind of weird. I guess people kind of lost their fever dream of Genshin because 2 months had passed roughly. Some people don't really stick around that long. Maybe they did everything that could be done in the game at that time, so they got bored and just decided to leave, which makes sense. Or maybe they just don't like Child. Sorry, Child mains. And then we have December with a huge leap in players, almost 5 million monthly players, and that's because of Zhongli. Zhongli's banner was out at the time, the second Archon to come out, and his trailer was a banger. And there's also all that drama surrounding Zhongli, like he's not good enough, he sucks, and then he gets buffed later. That creates a lot of attention for Genshin Impact. Bad attention is still good attention because people will walk to the game still. After that, Genshin Impact just continued to keep growing, and I'm going to point out some notable spikes. August 30th, 4 million players added to the cult of Genshin Impact. That was when Ayaka and Yoimiya came out, so a lot of hype there ever since beta for Ayaka, so it makes sense that a lot of people came to play the game. And I guess that progress of getting Ayaka AR42 also brought attention to Ayaka, so when Ayaka actually came out, there was a lot of attention to that as well. The monthly player count looked pretty consistent in growth throughout 2021. No red numbers. But then we hit 2022, and the growth kind of drops. In 2021, the numbers were growing by the millions, and now it's growing by the hundreds of thousands. And why is that? Well, probably because Genshin kind of ran its course, kind of hit its peak at Inazuma. It was the first new big region that wasn't Mondstadt and Lyra, which were released pretty much at the start of the game. And so everybody was hyped about that, and rightfully so, because Inazuma was cool. Sure, its art conquest might have not been great, but it is still a new region. It still produced banger characters. But as the year reset and 2022 came along, there were a lot of, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, fact check me. I think there are a lot of reruns, like it was the age of reruns. It makes sense why people didn't really join the game, or maybe left even. And then what surprised me was recently, even in September, when I think Sumeru was released or about to be released, there was a loss of players. Granted, it's not like huge, but it is still kind of half of what Genshin gained the previous month, so it is still pretty significant. Now, why is that? Maybe because Sumeru didn't live up to people's expectations. I personally love Sumeru. Maybe they got sick of the same old formula of new region, more questing, lots of puzzles to do, gotta collect all the oculi, spend 10-hour-long Archon quest they didn't want to go through. And so they just decided not to do it. And then as time went on and they still haven't done it, they realized, maybe I don't really play Genshin Impact anymore. And so they quit the game. Unfortunate, or maybe fortunate. And then all that kind of got put to a halt because of Nahida's release near November, in which we can see a around 1.5 million increase. Why did Nahida bring that number really up? Well, Archon, broken, great story, and she's adorable. And then the month right after, Genshin lost players again. reruns are just stale compared to newer characters, which makes sense because older players might already have these rerun characters so they don't feel incentivized to play as much during this time. And then we get to today where last 30 days, it says down 2 million, but it is like recent data, so it might not be reliable, but we'll see. We'll see in the future. Now, what do I think of the state of the game as of now? I think it's fine. I think Genshin is fine. Sure, 3.5 is looking like a sleeper. Not too great, but that's about it. I mean, as long as Genshin keeps actually caring about the game, I think it'll be fine. I don't see it dying anytime soon, so that's good for the game. Bad as a player because we're gonna still be forced to play it, but that's Genshin Impact to life, baby. So that's about it. Hope you liked the video. Alright, bye-bye. Subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't want to. I don't care. I do care. Please subscribe.